appreciate seeing him earlier today as well. Darold Williamson, former Baylor All-American, gold medalist in the 2004 games in Athens, joins us. Paul, Catalina, David, and Craig Smoak, SicEm365 Radio. Hey, Darold, thanks for, being a part of the show. Appreciate your opportunity to kind of share some insight from your experiences. When the Olympic Games, and this has been different because it's been 5 years, when they roll along every 4 years, do you kind of perk up a little bit? Is that the case with you?
Well, first of all, guys, thanks for having me. Yeah, so like every 4 years, you said put up. I don't know if I put up, but I get more attention, right? Every 4 years, you get more attention. More people ask questions. You get a lot of calls. People want to do a few events and things like that. But that definitely happens every 4 years.
You're for that 4x4 in 2004. I was watching some of the highlights today. Were you guys as confident a group that you could possibly ever imagine, especially given how you won that particular race?
Yeah, absolutely. I tell people all the time, my first 3 legs swept the 400 meters. And then all I had to do was run the last leg, and I was pretty confident in that. I'd done it all year. So, yeah, it's about as confident as we could be going into any 4x4 final at any Olympic Games.
Did it make it even more special to have a teammate from Baylor as a part of that?
Absolutely. Throughout my career, having Jeremy around, Olympic Games, World Championships, things like that, it always made those events even more special.
He said the same thing about you and others. We had him on Monday. It's been a big kind of a stretch for Baylor track. Darold, your thoughts about Michael Ford, the new head coach?
Hey, I'm so excited for Michael Ford. I think I was his first recruit at Baylor, so I've kind of watched this thing come full circle. I think Coach Hart brought him in right before I got recruited there, and he recruited me, and it's just been amazing to watch that journey come full circle. He's very well deserving of it, and I'm excited for what Baylor track and field has in store with Michael Ford at the helm.
That's pretty lofty that your first recruit's an Olympic gold medalist. After that, you set the bar pretty high.
Yeah, well, look at the kind of institution, he's coaching that. We have a lot of talent come through there, and he's been in a nice position.
They've had, and Baylor, we're talking about that, and you're a part of that history, that great success in the 400 meters, the relay, and all that. Was that what got you there, the history of what you'd seen, Michael Johnson, whatever, or was there something else as well along the way?
No, absolutely. The history there. Michael there. And honestly, like a lot of the guys that were there running when I got recruited, Brandon Couch, Zolt Seglet, Floyd Thompson, Bayana Kamani, like these guys were there running when I got recruited. So, they were doing well. I was excited about it. I'm a 400-meter runner, the history, the legacy there. And then the older legends, right? Like Deion Miners and, Mike Forrest and stuff, Tony Millers and those guys, Michael, obviously, Remy Pierre. So, yeah, it's just so much tradition there. Coach Hart was still coaching there, and it was a no-brainer for myself. Obviously, the proximity to San Antonio helped as well.
Will London is going to join us. He's been on the show a handful of times, and he's now on that Olympic team, and he's in what they call that pool, and you were a part of that too. And eventually, they got it right with you being a part of the 4x400 with Jeremy and all that. What suggestion, because Will just won a 400 about a week ago Friday. He's going to join us on Monday. What suggestions would you have for him?
Just to continue to train, continue to stay ready, be prepared to run if they call you to run. And just enjoy the games, enjoy the event, and the experience in itself is something to look forward to.
Just as
be prepared.
Yeah. Just as an experience outside of the actual events itself, what's it like to be in the Olympic Village and seeing people from all over the world and mingling and doing all of that? What was that experience like for you?
That's one of the most unique experiences of the games itself. And honestly, looking back on it now, almost 20 years later, it's more unique when I think about the situation I was in. You know what I mean? So I tell people, if you're going to the Olympics now, just take advantage of that. Look at it, everything, soak it all in, the different countries, the different backgrounds and cultures. It's amazing to be a part of.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. What's it like to be on the podium when they're playing the national anthem with a gold medal around your neck?
Sure, yeah, no, it's special. It really is special. I mean, you represent a nation. There's so many people watching, and your understanding of that before you even compete, and obviously before you're on the podium. So it's special, to hear the anthem, and just to know that there are so many people that support you, back home in Washington.
How fast could you run the 400 a day?
Oh, not very. I don't run. I don't do too much running. That's funny. I don't know. Really, really slow.
Well, Jeremy,
I'm heavier and slower. I'm not too active. Jeremy's coaching. At least Jeremy's around athletes every day.
But he said the same thing that like if he had to. In a couple weeks, he could break 50, he says.
Maybe.
Yeah. But, I mean, he'd have to, do it. But he's, kind of like you. Like, look, you're done. You're done. Nobody's chasing you anymore, trying to beat you in a race. So he's just enjoying it.
Yeah. I absolutely could not break 50 in a few weeks.
Well, that would be hard.
Yeah. But like I say, Jeremy's around athletes. He's coaching. He probably runs around with the kids.
Yep.
And I have a real estate company, and we do more things around houses and stuff. So, not doing too much running.
Yeah, got more than upper body strength. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I read a story, and I can't remember where this story was, but, things weren't easy for you and your brothers growing up. You had to kind of be, very patient in life and grow through life. And I know that you guys were a part of a foster care program in San Antonio.
Sure.
What was, Darold, you look back at that, obviously things worked out. Is that something that you just think the Lord, all of that worked out when it did?
Yeah, well, my past kind of, molded me into who I am. It kind of defines my character. And, it's made me stronger. I wouldn't change it. It's unfortunate that I had to go through those things, but it made me a strong man. I'm a great father because of the absence in my own life. And I just, thought my family is really special to me. I work hard for my family. I try to be a great husband. So, all of these things that I didn't have growing up, they taught me a lot. They taught me to provide those things for my family. So, I took advantage of what I had, and didn't focus on what I didn't, and I think that's what I was able to, become who I am.
Well, the good news, your grandmother, right? She was eventually the one that helped. She was obviously influential in your life, but she was the one that was able to raise you during your most impressionable years.
Sure, yeah, no, absolutely. She was amazing mother. Oh man, grandmother, father, she was amazing. Everything. She did everything for me, provided everything. And I'm forever indebted to her. I take care of her because of that. She's special to me.
Darold, do you have 3 girls?
I have 3 girls and 1 son.
3 girls and 1 son. What's it like being a dad to 4 kiddos?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. They keep me busy. I do a little running around when it comes to them, right? Taking them around and keeping up with them. But it's amazing. It's the most special thing about my life so far is being a father. So, it's absolutely amazing.
Did you ever finish that book or memoir that you were going to write?
I have not finished it. I have not finished it. Everything in life has been more important, from having a son, to being shut down with COVID, to starting my company. So something I want to do, but and I have a lot of it actually written. It's just not finished.
Well,
but,
and that means it's not ready. You get to it when you get to it, right? You kind of nip and tuck, nibble on it a little bit every once in a while. When it's ready, it's ready.
Well, yeah. And I don't want it to continue to grow. There's a lot more happening now.
Absolutely.
So I gotta close that book and open and open another soon. So I gotta hurry up and get with that. Though.
So what's it like for someone like yourself who's known for wanting and running fast to then have to slow down a little bit?
Yeah, no, I enjoy my life so much now that it's an easy transition. I know a lot of people probably struggle with moving out from being an athlete to what am I going to do next.
Mm-hmm.
But being an athlete, it took so much from you, right? You had to dedicate so much time and so much of yourself. And just now that I'm able to take the time that I was spending that, and now I'm using that time, spending that with my family, with my kids, with my wife, growing my own business. All of those things make it really pretty easy.
So, Darold, in the past, there's kind of been like this split between Olympic athletes and college athletes because of like the rules and whatnot. So a lot of Olympians will leave college and go that Olympic route. But I was just curious, what are your thoughts on the changing landscape of college athletics and name, image, likeness, and how much do you think that guys like yourself or Jeremy Warner or whoever would have been able to potentially benefit from that? What do you think of that opportunity now for college athletes?
I think it's fair. I think it's fair for the athletes. Universities benefit so much from athletes. I mean, I know we come through universities and we gain degrees and education and scholarships and whatnot, but in the same respect, athletes do, bring in a lot for university. So I think they're deserving. I think it's fair. I'm not sure how things are going to be moving forward. I'm interested to see how things will be. I hope it doesn't get out of hand, but At the same respect, I think it's nice that athletes do have an opportunity to capitalize off their image, because it is their image. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Do I think we would have benefited? Yeah, a little bit. But we're track athletes, so
right.
Professional track athletes don't get too much marketing. So it's not. I don't know how much college athletes will get, but so we'll see. But yeah, definitely for other sports, I think it'll be huge. Basketball players, like football players and whatnot.
Darold Williamson, 2004 Olympic gold medalist, won gold throughout most of his life when he comes to track and field, of course, from All-American at Baylor as well. What are your thoughts about Trayvon Bromell? And it looks like he has come all the way back, Darold, and he is right at that elite cusp of maybe the favorite in the 100 meters.
No, absolutely. Hey, listen, I have been locked in and really excited to see Trayvon come back, and he's running strong. He looks great. More importantly, I'm just excited to see where he's at mentally. He's healthy, and I think those are the most important things. So it's just good to see him doing well. I'm happy for it.
How much did your wife, being an All-American, LaWanna also being an All-American track athlete, help both of you through the transition of competing? Not that you don't compete right now, as you mentioned, with Olympic homes and then also as parents, but how much did that help to maybe get through the transition to a different chapter in your life?
She helped a lot. She helped just because she was already in, the professional world, and just kind of directed me on what to expect. When I first retired, I got into like medical sales and things like that. I was like, hey, I'm a retired athlete. I want to make a lot of money still. So, I kind of got into like medical sales and things like that. And she kind of directed me in that way because she was already in the field of sales. But, she also helped me get right out of it because it wasn't my thing. So that's why I'm a business owner now. So, but she definitely made the transition well. She understood it already, being a former athlete, being in that field. So, I'm lucky to have her.
I'm curious about this, and I'm not. You guys are at Olympic Homes, and I'm looking at the homepage, OlympicHomesSGA.com, and your story.
Yeah.
What were you? Is that your business that you guys opened it? Were you surprised that name was available and it was not a trademark somewhere?
Yeah, well, it was available. There were some other ones that were taken, but it was available. They approved it, and yeah. I have it right now. So unless I hear anything else,
No, it's
but it's amazing. I'm glad we have that name. We had, for the domain, we had to throw the GA at the end, Olympic home.
right.
The GA, but no, I'm glad we have that. I'm glad we have that name there, and it rings a bell. People always want to know why, and then there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess to wrap it up, Darold, with this, and thanks for your time and being so accommodating for us this week. When you crossed that line and you knew that you guys had won the gold medal by 5 seconds or so over Australia, can you try to describe, we've asked you about winning it, all that, can you kind of describe that moment of all of what you did to train for that moment? The wins or the losses, the setbacks or whatever, what that meant?
Yeah, it was surreal. It was so special. As a track and field athlete, that is absolutely what you run for. It's the best you can get, right? Olympic gold medalist, and to achieve that, it was amazing. But then again, I really wasn't surprised. So these guys ran so well. I expected us to do well, and really crossing the line in 04, it was more of excitement, of hard work paid off, really.
Have you been in touch with Michael about the job?
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as I heard, I had to reach out to him, let him know how happy I was for him. But then again, when I heard Coach Harbaugh was retiring or retired or what have you, I immediately reached out to Mike Ford, just because I would expect him to either be first in line or definitely the top candidate. So
Yep.
I reached out to him, but at that time he didn't know anything, so I kind of just had to wait around like everybody else.
It was pretty impressive when that news came down. We were in the middle of talking to Mac Rhodes, the AD at Baylor, and it comes out, and then you see all of the names of the great past of Baylor track and field thrilled. You obviously, and even the younger, Will London or Trayvon, among others, all the way back to the greats as well that you ran with as well. So that was cool.
This is huge. I think this is huge for the program, the culture of the program, the family. I mean, he's a Baylor Bear himself, and he has kind of been there as Baylor, just watching it grow over the last 20 years that he's been there. There wasn't a better person for the job. So glad he got it.
Darold, thank you. Appreciate you so much for representing what you did with Baylor, but the United States, and also good luck with your professional life and also with those kids, man. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care. You guys have a good one.
Darold Williamson, 2004 Olympic Games in Athens, along with Jeremy Warner. They ran that third and fourth leg. As he said, he goes, pretty easy for me when the first three already won their race, and then he goes off and caps it off as well. I was asked this question. I don't know this because I'm not a Baylor historian, although learned it the last 10, 11 years. I don't know. Was Michael Ford the first black head coach
in
Baylor
sports
athletics?
Period? Very well may be. I don't know enough of the history off the top of my head either.
That's the case. Somebody asked me that question, and I never really thought much about it because I don't look at it that way. That's never been something I've looked at, but that could be interesting.
I'm racking my brain. Yeah. The thing about Baylor is they get coaches that are so, for the most part, look at that his particular sport. He's the third coach in the last 50 years.
Oh, I know. They've had longevity, 20 years, 18 years, all that, yeah.
So it's
Grant Tapp was there for a long, long time, right?
Well, look at the other programs. Glenn Moore's been around for a really long time. Baseball shifted over, but football's obviously...
But Steve Smith was there for 20 years before it happened. Kim Mulkey was there for 18 years.
Yes.
Scott Drew's been here for, for 18, all that, or Kim, all that time. So, it's...
That was just something that was asked, and there's somebody along the way. I didn't know if there was a men's basketball coach or somebody. To me, it's great. If true, that's fantastic. If not, then that's okay too. It's fine with me.
Yeah, no, that's great either way. And I hadn't thought about that. So thanks for pointing that out because that is of interest and notable for sure. So,
how about Michael Ford recruiting him? No, I'm sorry, Harry Miller, men's basketball.
Okay.
Thank you, David.
There you go.
David Anderson, thank you. Harry Miller was the first black head coach at Baylor, Harry Miller back in the day. The other note about what Darold Williamson said,
track
Michael
coach.
Ford, huh?
But track coach wise, it'd be the first.
Yeah,
black
first,
head
yeah.
coach. Yeah.
But David, thank you for that. But Darold Williamson, that Michael Ford, he was his first recruit back, eventually won a gold medal.
From the Waco Trib, he's the 4th head coach in the modern era of the track and field program. 3rd black coach in Baylor's athletic history. Harry Miller, okay.
Right.
Yeah, there we go. And then LaPrice Harris Williams, who was acrobatics and tumbling from 2011 to 2014.
Before the dynasty showed up.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then Mulkey came sweeping through, and she's just cleaned up since
All right.
then.
All right. Thank you, David. Thank you to all the others who chimed in, and I mean that in a very positive way. All right. When we come back, more to come for